Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. My name's AJ and I'm here to talk about Afghanistan today. Sorry about the voice, but I've got coronavirus. I came positive today, unfortunately. I am self-isolating. I had my 2 jabs and I think I'm over the worst of it. Yesterday was pretty bad, but I think today I'm starting to feel a lot better. So don't worry, guys. I'll be back to full health as soon as possible. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this story because it's quite important. It couldn't really wait, so I'm going to carry on with this story. But before I do, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Don't forget that the more of you watch these videos, the more it gets sent out there to ordinary folks. We need to spread the truth. There's not many channels like myself out there spreading the truth, so more of you watch the videos, the more of you interact in the comment section, the more people watch the videos and the more YouTube sends it out to ordinary citizens. So I'm looking for your help, guys, and I'm sure you know what to do. Also check your comments because YouTube deletes a lot of my comments on my channel, so just make sure your comments haven't been deleted by YouTube. So just check that. So without further ado, guys, let's get on with the show. So as you can see, there was a couple of shooting incidents yesterday, and the papers, which are not UK and American, you can see that several people have been killed at Hamid Karzai International Airport on Monday after US troops opened fire, reports told. So US troops basically opened fire on civilians, Afghan civilians trying to flee the country, and that's what they think of Afghani guys. You know, that they don't really care about Muslims or Afghans, and this shows. And the difference between articles like this and UK articles is very different. As you can see that the UK articles, the stories are very, very different the way they're written. And as you can see, 5 dead at Kabul airport. But you can see how they're trying to write the story. You can see 5 people are thought to have died. So can you see the wording here, guys? Can you compare the wordings between killed and died? There's a big difference. Being, you know, several people have been killed. And then in the UK media it says 5 people are thought to have died. So can you see how they twist the words? And this is across all UK papers and American papers. They're really like trying to put it down as much as possible, trying to use words to twist the facts. That's what's happened. And when you say that people are thought to have died, people can die from coronavirus, they can be run over by a bus, it could be an accident, and that's fine. But you know, but these people were killed. They were shot down by US troops. And you can see here, during chaotic attempts to board flights at Kabul airport and flee the Taliban. And then you can see the next bit. The Taliban were reported to be taking pot shots at airplanes, leaving the Afghan capital, but that's not thought to be the reason behind the deaths. So, can you see they're trying to blame the Taliban now? They're saying the Taliban were taking pot shots and that's why we shot at civilians. Does that really make sense to you? And this is the same across all UK papers. It's not even on the news, you know, it's not even talked about. But if you look at other papers from around the world, it clearly says civilians were killed in the shooting by US troops. So I just think it's very sick, really. Double standards, and they don't really give a crap about Afghan people or Muslims in general or people in Xinjiang. Seriously, let them bring up the Xinjiang topic again. You know, I dare Blinken to come on stage again and say China is abusing Xinjiang concentration camps. We care for the Muslims in Xinjiang. You know, I dare him to come on press conference and say that again. Seriously, I double dare him because everyone knows it's all bullshit. You know, it's all bullshit. And it's all a lot of crap. I mean, this is how they treat you know, Afghan people. They proper let them down. You know, 20 years. I feel sorry for the women and the children, and but on the good on the good side of things, on the good news is Afghans get to, you know, control their own country again, and they can have, they can do whatever they want without the US being there to control them. There's no puppet government anymore. So that's the good news, I guess. They got basically, they got fate, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can join forces with China, join forces with Russia, Iran, and and there's a lot they can do. They have a lot of riches in Afghanistan. Let me show you. You can see Afghanistan is sitting on 3 trillion worth of mineral wealth. 3 trillion. And that's not just gold, iron ore, lithium, but also rare earth elements, REEs. And the best thing about this is you can see Chinese investments in Afghanistan include a new coal-fired power station, a rail network connecting 5 countries stretching from Iran to China, mineral mining contracts, and various road and infrastructure projects. So these will go ahead, whatever happens. These infrastructure projects will go ahead. And the good news about it is this is the map of Afghanistan and China and Iran. So you can see Afghanistan in the middle right here. Currently, there is a BRI going through, avoiding Afghanistan actually. It's going via the north, and it's going straight to Tehran through the top. But what they could do is that there's a little border here, about 70 kilometers wide border between China and Afghanistan. If they create a railroad going straight through Afghanistan and go right to the south of Iran, so they basically have 2 links going into Iran, and one link will go to the to Europe and stuff like that, but the other link will go to all the Middle East countries and all the African countries, and access to the ports around the sea here. So you can see they can have 2 links. So one link's already under progress, as you know, but this second link going from Afghanistan into Iran will be a very, very good deal. And not only this link, it'll be great for 2 reasons. Number one, there's an alternative route via Pakistan. So if there's issues between getting stuff between Pakistan and Gwadar, you have an alternative route that goes via Iran. So it doesn't have to go through Pakistan all the time. Plus you have an alternative route going into Iran. So you'll have 2 areas going into Iran, two road links. So if there's any issues, if there's any wars break out in the Taiwanese Strait, I know this map is wrong, guys. Ignore this map. I got it from Google. The Westerners still can't do the map of China correctly, so I do apologize for that. This is the only one I can find. So basically, what Iran has access to this sea, and he's also got access to this sea. So this northern link would go north via Turkey and Europe, and the southern route will go via the Middle East countries and Africa as well. And so there'll be 2 separate links, one alternative to the Pakistan link and another alternative to the northern Iranian link. And having a link through Afghanistan is also good, because if there's any minerals or mining to be done, these would be transported straight into China, so it doesn't have to go through Pakistan, doesn't need to go through any other country. You can go straight through China, through this border here. And I can see like new cities forming between the borders on this side, between China and also this side in Afghanistan. There will be some major border cities developing, because there's going to be a lot of trade going through this border. And I think I can see this area developing over the next 10-20 years. So things are looking good for Afghanistan. If they play their cards right, and if they spend the money well on the people, start building infrastructure projects around the country, power projects, and I'm sure they'll be good for the people, and it'll be good for Afghanistan. And I'm sure, now that they're not a stooge of America anymore, there's not much corruption, because the last president for Afghanistan was really corrupt, and everyone knows he was very corrupt. He was a stooge of America, and all he was doing is taking money from America and and using it himself, and giving it to all his mates and stuff. He wasn't really spending it on the country. You know, Americans asking the questions, where's all the money gone? Basically, he's taken it all, him and his goons. Now he's disappeared, just run out of the country. So, so that's how it is, guys. I also want to talk about. I also want to talk about this issue here. This story here. Basically, out of all the countries, India has become the biggest loser from Taliban winning, and it's become the biggest loser because, like this article says, Chabahar port could become a dead investment. And I don't know if you know this, guys, but India has been creating its own BRI as an alternative to Gwadar. They were heavily investing in Chabahar port, which is right next to Gwadar here. And there was supposed to be links going into Afghanistan. And India has already spent a lot of money developing the port and developing a lot of the infrastructure in Afghanistan as well. And this was when the past government was in power. So India has spent billions on this. And now that Taliban's in power, this basically means all that investment could be dead. And what they wanted was an alternative to BRI. So from Chabahar port, it would go into Afghanistan, and then it would go via the north, and it will go towards Europe. It will go through Iran and stuff, and so that's what they wanted. But that's kind of gone out the window now. Also, they can't do any investments in Iran because they've already pissed off Iranians. Because once Donald Trump put sanctions back on Iran, India was the first to run. They stopped working with Iran. They stopped buying its oil, and they stopped all the investments in Iran. So pretty much, Iranians know India is an American stooge. So relations between them is not very good. There's no trust between them now. And since then, China has come on board, and they've signed a $400 billion deal to build infrastructure around Iran. So that would be the main point, focus of Iran, and all of the infrastructure that's going to go in place of Iran would be focused on China and also Afghanistan, also the northern side as well. So India is completely out of it completely. So India will have to look for other alternative routes into northern Europe, or carry on doing it via the sea like they normally have done. So that's a problem with India's supply chain, really. India cannot be a big manufacturing country like the West hopes India would be, because India doesn't have the links to the rest of the world, doesn't have the supply chain, so it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And I kind of feel sorry for them when you see this. This is the only thing Indians are talking about, their loss of the Chabahar port, because they are very stingy when it comes to money, and any loss they take it very, very badly. So they spent billions on the port and billions on Afghanistan, so they're pretty much hurt because of that. That money could have gone into India itself, so they're pretty peed off about this. And there's no plans of India to strike relationships with the Taliban, because there is bad relations between them at the moment. Basically goes back to the time when Taliban hijacked one of their planes, and they've been saying a lot of things recently about they're not going to recognize any government that forces their way in. They're talking about the Taliban, obviously. And yeah, so they don't really get along. Plus, Taliban's link with Pakistan as well. So it's not very good, looking good for India at the moment. And Blinken came to India just only a few weeks ago, and Modi asked him, we're very concerned about Afghanistan. And Blinken was like, oh, don't worry, we're going to totally support the Afghan government. We're going to make sure the country doesn't fall into the Taliban's hands. Don't worry. And India, stupidly enough, listened to Blinken, and then they sent ships to the South China Sea, 4 ships to the South China Sea, still part of the Quad. they just can't see that they're being used and abused. And same way America has treated Afghanistan. As soon as your use is off, as soon as they feel like they don't need you anymore, they will just dump you like they've done to Afghanistan, like Vietnam. And Indians can't see it. They're going to do the exactly same thing to India. Probably not today, probably not tomorrow, but one day in the future, you will see America's going to show its true colours to India, and it'll be too late by then. And India is too stupid to see it, really. They're blindly following their masters, colonial masters. And I just hope one day they wake up. I really hope they wake up. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say for today. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and try and watch the video out up to the end. Make sure you check your comments. And if you really like the video, don't forget you can support me on Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. The links are in the description. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys soon, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.